the summer I was 7. I first met Bryce Lowski. Back then, I didn't know this blonde minus hair boy would teach me what a flip minus flop in my heart felt like. Or that sometimes. The person you fall for is just someone you've made up in your head. That year, he moved in across the street. I ran over, wanted to help him with the boxes, but he just hid behind his mom. Right then and there, I was sure there'd be a story between us. I loved climbing that sycamore tree because from up there, I could see the whole world. The distant mountains, the shadows of the clouds, the school bus route, and Bryce's roof. Sometimes, I wonder if he could sit up here with me. Would he fall in love with this view too? I used to think if I just kept at it, Bryce would eventually return my affection. But then Sherry Stalls came along. She acted all sweet and innocent, but her eyes held a scheming glint. I knew Bryce wasn't dumb. He'd see through her act sooner or later. Sure enough, they broke up in less than a week. They said I was a weird girl, and maybe I was, but Bryce's sound like sun minus warmed watermelon. Clean and warm, I just couldn't help wanting to be near him. I thought giving him eggs was the best thing I could do for him. Until the day I found out he was about to throw all the eggs I'd carefully chosen for him into the trash. That's when I realized that in his eyes. These eggs, full of my good intentions, were no different from any ordinary eggs that might carry salmonella. But he'd never know that those same eggs were worth a whole 60 cents a dozen to Mrs. Streety by and Mrs. Helms. The day they were going to cut down the sycamore tree, I clung to the branches, crying and begging Bryce to come up and help me if only he stood by me.
Bryce, please don't let them do this. Bryce, please, you don't have to come up this high, just a little ways.
Maybe the adults would stop their chainsaws, but he just shook his head and walked away. In that moment, with tears blurring my vision, maybe Bryce wasn't ready to see the whole world yet, but I couldn't lie to myself anymore. Then, one day, this boy who was always running away suddenly stood in my yard, holding a sapling. His fingers were covered in dirt, but his eyes were more resolute than ever before. I suddenly understood maybe some people are worth waiting for them to see for themselves what's truly important. Some people become rivers, and others become your shore. And Bryce? He was probably the one I was meant to plant that tree with all along.